We are live. Hi everyone, welcome back to Code Era. Today we will be discussing problems related to sorting. This is the second session for mastering CodeForces sorting problems and live problem solving. So please give a +1 in the chat and like the video if my voice is audible to everyone and my screen is also visible, and then we'll immediately begin ahead with today's session. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for everyone else to join in, and then immediately after that we'll start with the session today. So you can consider giving a quick +1 in the chat and also like the video if everything is working fine, and then we'll be good to go for the session today. Hi Vanshika Kapoor. So just quickly comment down below that how many problems have you solved of DSA today. Just to know your just out of curiosity, I'm asking all these questions. And apart from this, you know that today there is a CodeForces round Div 3. So make sure to give that round, because today I'll be recording the video editorials for that round after the contest is over. All those who have joined, please quickly give a +1 in the chat, and I'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes for everyone else to join in, and then immediately we'll begin ahead with the problems. So just to tell you which are the problems that we'll be solving. So this is one problem, that is avoid triangle, and another problem is this problem game. Then we have dragons. If we have some time, then we can also discuss these problems that I have picked. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to solve them or not, but I'm considering that since we have been doing the problem solving part for a lot of days now, so I think that we might be able to take 4 or 5 problems. So based on that, I have just kept some problems on buffer. Please quickly give a +1 in the chat if everyone is able to hear me. And shall we begin? Okay, so right, so I'll just wait for 1 minute. All those who have joined the stream, please quickly give a +1 in the chat so that I know that everything is fine and we are good to go with the session today. Shall we begin? Please comment down yes if everything is perfect and we should begin with the session today. Shall we begin? Okay. I'll just be waiting for some time. Oh. Right. Hi Chirag. So it's a yes from everyone. Right. So let's begin with the first problem for the day. The problem says that the problem name is avoid trigub. So the problem name is avoid trigub, and the problem says that a string B is a sequence of a string. Yes. Okay. A string B is a sequence of a string B is a subsequence of a string A if B can be obtained from A by deletion of several characters, right? String B is a subsequence of A if the string B can be obtained from A by deleting several characters, right? What does it mean? Example, if xy is a subsequence because it can be obtained from xy and z, but xy is not a subsequence because it cannot be obtained from y and x, right? So what it says basically is that, let's say you have let's say x, w, y and z, right? So in this, xy is a subsequence of this string, because if you delete this w and you delete this z, so in that case you will be able to get xy. But let's say if it was y and it was x and z, so in that case you cannot get a subsequence z and y, because even if you delete x, then you will get y and x and not y and z and not x and y, right? So this is what has been mentioned in the problem. Let's read the problem statement further. So you are given a string, you have been given a string A, and your task is to reorder the characters of A so that trigub is not a subsequence of the resulting string. Okay, so trigub, you have been given a string A. Basically, let's draw it here. Okay, so you have been given a string A and you want that trigub, this subsequence should not be present in the string A. What you have been given is, you have been given this string A and your task is to reorder the characters of A. You can reorder the characters of A so that this word, that is trigub, is not a sequence of the resultant string, right? In other words, you should find a string B which is a permutation of the symbols of the string A, and trigub is not a sequence of this, right? So what you can do is, you will be given a string A, you will be given some string, and you have to reorder in this string, you have to reorder some characters here and there in such a way that you do not get trigub as a subsequence, right? Is this much part clear to everyone? I hope that this much part is clear to everyone. Let's read the problem statement further. So they can prove that any string can be rearranged such that it does not contain trigub, and that is very basic part. After this, what will happen is, you will be given an integer, you will be given a single integer end that will denote the length of the string, and you will be given A, that is the string, and in this string what you have to do is, you have to print the B string, you have to output the string B after reordering the string A. After reordering this string A, after reordering some characters of the string A here and there, you have to print the string B such that it does not contain any subsequence that is trigub in it, right? Is this problem clear to everyone? Please quickly let me know if this problem is clear to everyone. Only then I'll be able to proceed further. Is this problem clear to everyone? Please let me know a little quick. Is this problem clear to everyone? Just let me know. Only then I'll be able to move ahead. Is it clear? Is the problem statement clear to everyone? I'm just waiting for your replies. I'll just be waiting for your replies. Okay. Please quickly let me know if this problem is clear to everyone or not. Right, so let's have a discussion with some of these strings. So let's say if the string A is given to me, Anton, then trigub, right? Anton trigub, right? If let's suppose that this has been given to me, then what should I do in this case? Can someone tell me what should I do in this case? If it is given to me Anton trigub, then in this case what should I do? What should I do? Anyone? So what you can observe from this question is, one thing that you can observe from this question is that let's say you have this character, right, and you get this string that is trigub. Now one thing that you know for sure is that trigub, right? So what you can do with this question, right, what you can do with this question, if you will look at this question, can we sort this can we sort this? What happens is, T is coming before B, T is coming before B. But what if I sort this? If I sort this, then what will happen? What will happen? In that case, you will never be getting this string, right? Because what happens with this? What happens with this is, what happens with this trigub is, you can see that there is a character, let's say T, and this character B. So if you will sort this, then B will always come before T. Let's say even if there was a trigub in every case, so B will come before this T. So that is why once you sort it, so this question will be done, right? Is this much part clear to everyone? I hope that this part is clear to everyone, right? So let's quickly take the input for this problem. I know that this problem was a little easy, but still I took this because we are trying to speed our problem solving as well, apart from getting right solutions. So let's quickly do this. I'll be doing string A, right? Though I'll take C in S, C in N, and the string A. Then what I'll do is, I'll sort A dot begin comma A dot end. So I'll sort it in ascending order. Once I have done that, so I can say that I can print my string A. Let's do the endl part. Let me check whether it works on the samples correctly or not. Okay. Right. Let's quickly see what happens with this case. Okay, A dot begin, right. I hope now I am not getting any errors. Let's try and submit this problem as well. Okay, so the logic is very simple. Just let it open and then I'll submit this problem immediately after that. So yeah, let's submit this problem and see what is the answer. So what are we getting? Okay, yeah, it got accepted, right? So this problem got accepted. You can see that. So I hope that this problem is clear to everyone. Let's quickly move to the game. Uh, shall we take this problem? Shall we take this problem? Let's take this problem. So the problem name is game and it was asked in CodeForces 483 division 2. So it says that there are two players. Playing a game. So initially there are n integers and the integers are numbered from a1 to an, and they are written on the board, and in each turn player will select one number and erase it from the board. This continues until only one number is left on the board, that is n minus one number of turns are made. The first player makes the first move, then the player alternates, right? Player 1 will make the move first, then alternating, right? After that, what it says is the player wants to maximize the last number that would be on, I think there is some lagging issue, or maybe I can just try to do it this way. Let me remove the video capture part. Maybe this might work. Okay, right. So I hope that it is coming out okay-ish. Right, so yeah. Next up, what it says is the first player wants to minimize the last number that would be left on the board, while the second player wants to maximize the number. Okay, the first player wants to minimize the number as much as possible and the second player is wanting to maximize this number, right? So you have to tell in the end that the one number last number that will be left on the board, right? Is this problem clear to everyone? The first player wants to minimize the number left and the second player wants to maximize the number, right? Is this much part clear to everyone? The first player wants to maximize the number and the second player wants to minimize it. Right, is this much part clear to everyone? Is it? Is this much part clear to everyone? Right, so let's do this quickly. So let's copy the test cases. First test case that has been given to us is 213. Okay, so let's say you have been given this number that is 2, then you will given 1, and then you will be given 3, right? Let's say you have been given these three numbers. So let's write them in a sorted manner. So 1 to 3, what the first player wants is, first player wants to minimize the number left, the last number, right? First player wants to minimize the last number and the second player wants to maximize it. Okay, is this part clear to everyone? I hope that it is. Let me show you again. So it is written, first player wants to minimize, second player wants to maximize, right? So what you can do is, first player, since he wants to minimize the number that will be left, so first player will always come and he will pick the largest number, right? And since the second player wants, first player will always come and he will always try to pick the largest number, right? First player will remove from the back, right? First player will remove from end in the sorted array, right? First player, and the second player will remove from the beginning, right? From the beginning. Why? Because let's say one comes and removes this. After that, what will happen? Then the player 2 comes and he will remove this one. So now 2 is left. So 2 is the last number left. So it is the optimal answer, right? Is this much part clear to everyone for this case? Let me see one more case. So if it is 2 2 2 2, let's say if it was like something like this, let's say if it was 1 2 3 4 and 5, in this case what will happen? The first player will remove this, second removes this, first removes this, second remove this, so this element is left. Let's take this 1 2 3 4 and 5. So in this case what will happen is, the first will remove this, second removes this, first remove this. Sorry, I've written the same case, sorry. Let's change it. Let's change it a little quick. So let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. In this case what will happen? First player removes this, second removes this, first remove this, second removes this, first remove this, so this is left, right? Is this much part clear to everyone? What should we do in this case? Can someone quickly tell me in the chat? Can someone quickly let me know in the chat what should we do in this case? Anyone can tell me what we should do in this case? Count the middle number after sorting. See out the middle number. What will be the middle number? Will it be n by 2 or will it be n minus 1 by 2? What will it be? If there were 5 numbers, then the element was what? Assuming that we are taking a 1 based indexing, so the number was assume that we are taking a 0 based indexing, right? So it was n plus 1 by 2. Okay, even if this was the case, so it was n plus 1 by 2, and if this was the case, then even it was n plus 1 by 2, right? Because why? Because if you have this 5, so 5 plus 1 by divided by 2, that means 6 by 2, that is nothing but 3. And for this case, what you can see, for this case 6 numbers, so 6 plus 1 is equal to 7, so 7 divided by 2 also gives us 3. So that is why, assuming that this is what, this is a 1 based indexing, right? Assuming that this is a 1 based indexing, okay, so that is what it means. Okay, is this much part clear to everyone? Floor size of n is even, yeah, right. So what we should be doing in this problem is, let me quickly do it. We do not have any test case for this problem, right? So what I'll be doing is, I'll be taking the number as an input, first of all c in n. After that, what I'll be doing is, I'll be declaring the array. Last case wrong hai. Last case wrong hai. Okay, let's see this case. Let's see what will happen if we take 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So you are saying that if we take 1 2 3 4 5 6, then in that case what will happen? So let's do this. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So first player comes in, first player will remove this, second player will remove this, first player will remove this, second player removes this. So what will happen next? 3 hatega. Are you sure? uh, what will happen? First player will remove this, right? First player comes in and first player will remove this, second player removes this, first player removes this, second player removes this, so first player will remove this, right? This is what should happen in my thinking. Let me know if you have any other approach for it. I thought that this is the way. No, my mistake. Yeah, right. So that is like, I did it optimally, so that is why I did it once again for you. Okay. um do we have number 0 in it? I don't think that we have the number 0, right? So what I'll do is, first of all, let me do a of 0 is equal to 0, because we are not having any negative number, so that is why I can mark a of 0 as 0. After that, I is less equal to n, and I plus plus is what I'll do. After that, let's take c in a of I. Once I have this, so what I'll do is, I'll simply sort a comma a plus n, that is, I'm sorting in ascending order. After that, I'll simply see out what? I'll see out a of n plus 1, which is divided by 2, and let's handle this. Let me just run it so that I can see whether it is giving any compilation error or not. I don't think that it should. Right, so this was the problem. Let's quickly, int a was not declared. Is this the case? Yeah. So I can mark a of 0 as 1, right? Let's quickly submit this problem and see if it works, then fine. Otherwise, we'll see where we are making an error. Okay. You are correct. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. So I've just submitted this problem. Hopefully it should work. Just waiting for the verdict. Let's see what the verdict says. Okay, we got a wrong answer, right? We got a wrong answer. So we might have done something wrong. What is the, usually when you see this problem, so you do this, right? You just see the base case and you think that you have solved this problem. But let's say this is the input, right? Let's say if it is only 2, if only 2 numbers are given to you, right? If in that case, if only 2 numbers are given to you, then in that case what will happen? In that case, the first player will try to remove this. Okay, if only two numbers are given, that is 1 and 2 are given, so in that case what will happen? In that case you will say that the first player removes this, then 1 will be left, whereas actually what you will be doing is you will be doing n plus 1 by 2, but that is not the actual truth for this problem, right? So I think that this is one of the edge cases that we might cover. Let me check. If that is the case, we can sort it, and if n is equal to, then I can say that I can simply see out a of 1, and I can simply change the line, else I can do this. Let's see whether this works or not. This is one edge case that we had forgotten. If this doesn't work, so that will mean that we need to change our strategy for this problem. Let me quickly do it. Just waiting for the submission to open. Right, let's do this and see whether it works or not. Okay, so it has just got submitted. Let's see, it is in queue. Hopefully it should get accepted. I don't know why it is inside the queue for quite some time now. Okay, so is everything inside the queue? We are getting a queue. Just let me see why is that the case. Is it happening with CodeForces? The problem is still inside the queue, I guess. So let's check this up. Okay, so I've refreshed it again just to check that whether my submission gets accepted or not. Okay, so it is running. So I think that there was some issue on CodeForces. It is still getting running. Let's see how it can work. Maybe some issue. Still it is inside. I think that this problem is done in this way. Let's wait for some time. Okay, yeah. Just wait. I think that it got accepted. Uh, why am I getting an error? I'm not getting any error, but still, is it that the stream has just frozen down? Is that the case? I think that is the case, right? That the screen is visible now. Let's quickly check again whether it works or not. So yeah, just waiting for it to get recompiled or something. What is happening today? I just hope that it gets an AC. Maybe some issue with CodeForces itself. So what we can do is we can move to the next problem, right? Is this much problems clear to everyone? Just quickly give a +1 in the chat if this much part is clear to everyone. I think that it will get accepted, but still it's just giving an error. It's not giving an error, but basically the problem is not getting. Let me try and see what we can do again. Let's say we have this a of 0 is equal to 0. Okay, right, this is one thing that I should have done. Let me try and submit again. Maybe this time it might work. Okay, let me check whether it works or not. Okay, it is running. Let's see what is the verdict. Again it is running. Like, this is, we are getting an error. Okay, so for this problem we are getting some error, so let's try and find out where we might be missing. So what can happen in this case is, again let me check the, I think that we have got the wrong answer on the test case 9 again, right? So in this problem, one thing that you can notice is that for doing this problem, uh, One thing that we might have done in the wrong way is that let's take a zero based indexing. Maybe that might work for us. Let's give me some time. Let's say this is only n. Yeah, I'm sorting it in the wrong way, man. That is why I'm getting an error. I'm sorting it in the wrong way. Oh, I was taking an array of this much size, n plus 1, whereas I was sorting for only n. That is why I was getting an error. So this was a bit not logical error, but just error in terms of writing, I guess. Let me check that now whether we will get an AC or not. This problem is very easy actually. After some blunders, we might get it accepted. Yeah, right, it got accepted. So just a big mistake that I made. I had to take it, I had to, in this sorting part, I had to write a plus n plus 1, whereas I was writing a plus n only. That is why I was not able to come up with a proper solution for this problem. Okay, right, I hope that this problem is clear to everyone. Now moving on to the next problem. Let me check if it is working. Yeah, right. Moving on to the next problem for today. What should we discuss? Should we discuss this problem that is named as dragons? This seems an interesting problem for us. Which problem should I take? I think that we should be taking either this problem or assign classes, or we can take any problem, but let's take this problem, that is dragons, right? So let's read this problem statement quickly. So the problem says that this guy is stuck on a level of the game that he's playing now. To move on in the game, he's got to defend. He has got C problem. Should we take this problem, minimum extraction? This is what you want to me to take. I can take this problem also, no problem. Let's take this problem only. Right, so the problem that we will discuss, as Chirag has wanted to me to discuss this problem C. So minimum extraction problem. So it says that you have an array, of n integers, and if a has the length strictly greater than 1, so if the length of the array is greater than 1, then this guy can apply an operation called minimum extraction to it. Firstly, he will find the minimum number m in the array. He will find this minimum number n in the array, and if there are several identical minimum elements, then he can choose any of them. Then the selected minimum element is removed from the array. After that, m is subtracted from each of the remaining element, right? So what this problem says is that you can choose in this array, you will be given an array, right? And you have to choose the minimum number from it. After that, if there are several minimums, so you can choose any of them. Once you do that, then the selected minimum element is removed from the array, and after that m is subtracted from the remaining elements, right? So m is subtracted from the remaining elements. Thus after each operation, the array size will reduce by 1, right? So let's say if this was the array, that is 1 6 minus 4 minus 2 and minus 4. Let me just quickly write it. This seems an interesting problem to me. Since it is a problem C, so you can expect it to be a good one, right? So let's do this. So the let me copy 1 6 1 comma 6 comma 1 comma 6 comma minus 2 comma minus 4 and minus 4, I guess, right? Or minus, yeah, right, 1 comma 6. Okay, this is the problem. So what is the minimum element? The minimum element here is nothing but minus 4. So what I can do is I can remove 1 minus 4 from here, right? Let me do it in a more human manner. So what I'll do is I'll remove this 4. After that I'll subtract. So 1 minus of minus 4, so I'll subtract minus 4 from this one, so it will get what? It will become 5. So this 1 becomes 5, this 6 becomes 10. Now this 4 becomes this minus 2 becomes 4, and this becomes 0, right? Okay, so this is what the new array will look like. So this is also the same, 5 10 2 and 20. So this is also the same, 5 10 2 and 20. After that, what will happen is since he likes big numbers, so he wants the numbers in the array to be as big as possible, right? You want the array numbers to be as big as possible. So he wants to make the minimum number of minimum he wants to make the minimum of the number he wants the minimum number of the array A to be as maximum as possible. So he wants to maximize the minimum. Okay, he wants the minimum number. Let's say you perform this operation several number of times. After that, whatever is the array, so he wants the minimum number to be as maximum as possible, right? So this part must be clear to everyone. So to do this, he can apply this operation as many number of times to this array as he want. Note that the operation cannot be applied to an array of length 1. So you have to help him find the minimum you have to find him you have to help him find the minimum element of the array. That is, you have to maximize the minimum and you have to print that, right? So in this case, you can see that if there is -1, 2 and 0, right? If there is this case -1, 2, 0, so the minimum element is nothing but -1. So what I'll do, I'll remove -1 from here, and now -1, 2 minus -1 will become 3, and 0 minus -1 will become 1, right? So in this case, you can see that the minimum element now is 1. So you can see in this case that the answer comes out to be actually 2, right? So how does that happen? How does that happen? So that happens because what will happen in this case is, this is nothing but 3 comma 1. Now you take this element 1 and you subtract it, so this becomes 2, and now though there will be no element left, right? So that is why 2 is the minimum, 2 is the element, right? Is this much part clear to everyone? Just quickly let me know. I hope that this much part is clear to everyone. Okay, similarly you can take any case. Let's say I take this case, that is 3, 2, -4, -2 and 0. Let's take this case where I have 3, 2, -4 and 3, 2, -4 and -2 and 0. Okay, 3, 2, -4, -2 and 0. If I have this as the case, so in this case what will happen, the minimum element that I am having currently is nothing but 3, right? This is nothing but -4, right? Okay, the minimum element that I am having is nothing but -4. So what will I do? I'll subtract it, so this becomes 7, this is 6, this element gets removed, so this becomes what, 2, and this becomes 4, right? Can I try to maximize it further? I think I can, maybe. Let's try to do it. So what can I do? I can choose this 2 and I can subtract it, so this becomes 5, this becomes 4, and this becomes 2, and this 2 gets eradicated away. After that, can I do anything else? What I can do is I can choose this 2, and after that 5, then 4, not 5 and 4, so this 5 will become what, this 5 will become nothing but 3 after getting subtracted by 2, and this 4 becomes 2, right? So in this case you can see that the minimum element will be 2, because if I do it further, if I do this operation further, so only one element will be left and that element will be 1. So that is why 2 is my answer, right, for this problem. Can you recognize some pattern, any pattern that you can recognize in this question, any pattern or anything that you can observe from this problem, anything that you can observe? Please quickly let me know if there is anything that you can observe from this problem. Anything that you think that we can do in this problem? Any particular approach that you think that can be applied in this problem? If you want, I can take more cases as well, but just quickly let me know. I'm waiting for your answers in the chat. Let's say that I take this array as well, -1 and -1. Let's say I take -1 and -1. So if I take -1 and -1 and 1, right? Is it -1 and 1? Yeah, if it is -1 and 1, then in that case I can say that I can take this -1 as the minimum element, and after that what I'll be doing, this sum of all numbers. Are you sure that you will be doing that? Because this was 3 plus 2 and -4 and -2, so this gives me a -1, this gives me a -1, so that is not possible, man. Maximum number ka use, how will you use the maximum number? Chirag is suggesting that you will use the maximum number, but how will you use the maximum number? That is what I'm asking. How will you use the maximum number? Can you tell me some approach on that? Any approach that you can tell me on this problem, that is minimum extraction? Any approach, like how will you do this? Just quickly let me know. Just quickly let me know. Any other approach that you think that we can do for this problem? Please quickly let me know. What do you think that we should do with this problem? So what I can do, one thing that I can see from this problem is that the test cases are varying, right? That the test cases are varying. I can take any test case but still I'll not be able to get to some particular conclusion. So I have to stick to one or two test cases, and then I have to check that is there something that I can take advantage of, right? So in this, let me first, that since this is the part, so was first of all, let me try to sort it. Okay, let me try to sort it. So in the sorted form, what it looks like: -4, -2, 0, 2, and 3, right? This is what it looks like. Everyone will agree to this, right? Does everyone agrees to this? I hope that everyone does. What should we do? What should we do with this problem? The thing is that, what can we do with this problem? What do you think that we can do? Anything after sorting, what we can do? I want the answers from you. Let's suppose that this came in a contest that we are giving right now. What will you do in this problem? What will you do in this problem? What will you do? Why what? Chirag, what do you want to ask? Please write that again. I was not able to get your point. What do you think that we should do in this problem? What do you think that we should do? Shall we take the minimum element, or what should we do? Let's suppose even if this is the minimum element, in that case, even what we can do, is there anything, any pattern that you can recognize, any pattern, any sort of pattern that you can recognize, or anything of that kind, anything? You can just let me know, or a little quick. Anything that from your side that you think that we can do for this problem. I want the approach from you guys. What should we do? Let's suppose that this is your array, right? What you can do is, let's say that you initialize, um, let's say that you take a sum, use of minimum element. How do you want to use that? The thing is that, how do you want to use it? Let's say I have a sum 0. Okay, let's say I have a sum 0. Let's say that I have a sum 0, and let me do this every time I'll keep on taking the sum, and I'll keep on subtracting as well. What do I want to say in that part? uh let's say that the sum is currently 0, right? So the sum currently is 0, so I have the sorted array. What I'll do is, from this -4 I cannot subtract anything, right? This is the array that I have, and this is the sum value that I'm having. So currently, now after this, my sum is -4. Okay, initially it was 0, now it is -4. Now what I do, I move to this -2, I move to this -2, and I subtract this sum from it. I subtract this sum from it, so it becomes 6. And what will my sum become if I add this ai to my answer? This ai that I'll add to my answer, now my sum becomes 2. My sum becomes 2. Is this much part clear to everyone? Or to be precise, can we do anything else? This is one of the approaches, but can we do anything else? Like any approach that anyone would like to suggest? Any approach from your side? This is a good problem, I know that. But anything that you think that we can do with this problem? Any sort of thing? Let's try. You know that it will be, first of all, it will be looking like this. Okay, now your task is to find the maximum value of minimum, right? Your task is to find the maximum value of minimum. How will you do that? That is the situation. That is the situation in this problem. How will you do that? That is what I'm asking. If you want, I can also give you the answer. That no problem in that part. Okay, what I'm saying is, let's say you sort this array out, right? And after that, what is my minimum element, right? What is my minimum element? Can I say that mi that I want is nothing but currently it is -4? uh right, I initialize my minimum to currently -4. What I can do further is, can I say that, what is the difference between these two elements? These two elements, the difference is 2. Between these two elements, the difference is 2. Between these two elements, the difference is 2. Between these two elements, the difference is 1. Right? Can I say this? Binary search, how will you apply binary search in this? How will binary search help you? No, binary search is not feasible for this problem. Can you observe this something in the adjacent numbers? Can you observe something? Can you observe something in the adjacent numbers? Let's say you have the minimum initialized as infinity. Can you observe something in the adjacent numbers? Let's take some more examples for that case. Okay, let me just copy this and see what we can do with this problem. Okay, right. Yeah, so let's say that you have this array that is -1, you have -1, then you have 2 and 0. In this case, let's first of all sort this out, right? So this is nothing but this. Now let's calculate what will the difference between these two. This will be 1. What will the difference between these two? The difference will be 2. And once I did it, can I say that the answer for this one was 2 only? Can I say that? Can I say this? Can I say this? Just quickly let me know. Let me take another case. Let's say that I take 1, 2, 7 and 10. The difference between these two is 1. The difference between these two is coming out to be 5. The difference between these two comes out to be 3. Can I make use of this? Can I make use of this? Just let me know. What is the answer for this case? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. It's not coming like that. You're right. So the maximum, similarly, the maximum of the minimum is 5. In the fourth test case, the array will be modified as this and then this. So the can I say that the maximum for this case is 5? Can I say this? You can see this test case. So similarly, the maximum. So the fourth array will be modified as this, right? You modify it like this, and 8 and 5 are remaining. So the minimum element that will be left will be 5, right? Can I say this? Can I say that the minimum element left will be 5? Can I say this? Yes, I can say this, right? Everyone will agree to this. Okay, this guy has come in again in the comments. Let me remove this guy. Give me a second. I'll just remove him. Okay, right. So what I can say that I can easily observe in this problem they will be given n test cases. Okay, so let me quickly do that as well. The problem is pretty simple, right? Let me quickly write it. Increase the font size. Okay, so what you will be doing is you will be taking long a of n. After that you will be taking the array as an input, right? This problem was just a little observation based. There is a proof for this problem as well. I can tell you once I just submit this problem. I don't want to run out of time in the end, so that is why I'm just trying to build a code for that. But if you don't know, so can you see that if we try to do maximum difference between adjacent elements? Yeah, right, maximum difference between adjacent elements. That is what I am trying to say. That is what I am trying to say. Okay, so let's say I mark my let's say long mi as something very close to 1 e18. Okay, so I mark it as very large value. After that what I'll do is for I start from 0, I is less than n minus 1, and let's say I do an I plus plus. After that what will I do? Mi is equal to nothing but maximum of mi comma mi is equal to nothing but maximum of mi comma a of I plus 1 minus a of I, right? This is what we have discussed. Now let me just quickly see out mi and see what we will get on the sample test cases. Let's see whether it works or not. Let's see whether it works or not, and then Okay, I wasn't declared. Let me declare I as well. Let's see now what is the verdict for this problem. So the answer that I am getting, oh, maximum, right? So that is why I should have initialized it to 0, or maybe I should initialize it to a of 0. Maybe that will help. I since I did like since I have to find the maximum, so I should initialize it to the first number. So you can see that I am getting the desired output, I think. Let me try and submit this up and see whether it works or not. Okay, let's see whether it works or not. So yeah, it got accepted. You can see that this problem got accepted, right? But how did that happen? Can anyone tell me what is the logic behind it? Anyone can tell me what is the logic behind it? Yeah, max is equal to 0. Anyone can tell me what is the logic? What was the logic behind it? Anyone can tell me. Anyone can voluntarily tell me. Just I want to know the logic. What was the logic, or what was the reason for doing this? What was the reason for doing this? Anyone can tell me? Anyone? What I want to say is, what I want to say is that my answer was nothing but difference of adjacent elements, right? Difference of adjacent elements in the sorted array, right? In the sorted array, right? This was an observation. There is a proof behind it, but this was a basic observation that someone, if someone had done that, then this was very easy, right? Can someone tell me why this was the reason? Why was this? Let's say if I had an array that is 1, 4, 6, 12, and 15, right? If I had this array, and in this array what will I do? Let's say if I am having this array, so with this array what would I have done is, first of all, let's say I took 1, so I would have removed 1, then this was 3, this would have become 5, this would have become what, this could have become 11, then this would have become 14, right? Now up till now I can see that the minimum comes out to be I can see that 3 can be one of the answers, right? After that, let's say I remove this 3, so this becomes 2, this becomes what, this becomes nothing but it becomes 8, this becomes 14, right? After this I can say that 3 is the maximum up till now that I have seen. Let's remove this 2 and this becomes 4, and this becomes what, this becomes 6, right? So can I say that up till now 4 is the maximum that I've seen, and now if I remove this, so I'll get 2 instead. Can you observe one thing? Can you observe one thing? In one thing that you can observe, always the differences that are coming, always the differences, since the question is such that always the differences that are coming, um like um the minimum, what are you saying? You are saying AP. This is not an AP actually. This is not an AP, but what I am saying is that the differences, that the candidate for differences are nothing but, for this problem the candidate for differences are nothing but the adjacent differences, right, in the sorted array. Okay, okay. Why is that so? Why is that so? Thus that is because first operation will be this, right? First operation will be what, this, not this, what will happen is actually, what will happen actually is, each time, each time what you are doing, you are taking one of the, you are taking the smallest, first smallest, second smallest, third smallest, final smallest, right? This is how you are taking, you are taking the first smallest, right? Let me conclude this, let me conclude this part. Okay, right, uh let's conclude this. what you are doing actually in this problem is, like, you are always removing the minimum element one by one, and each time you are subtracting the, since you want to maximize your minimum, so what is the minimum that you will actually be getting? Why you need sorting? Why you need sorting? Because you will always be getting the minimum, right? So let's say if I take this one, if I take this one, if I take this element, so what will the minimum that I'll get from this one? The minimum value that it will give me is nothing but 4 minus 1, right? 4 minus 1. Now let's see if I take this 4. So now this 1 is not into consideration. This 1 has got out. All the numbers are bigger. All the numbers are bigger. But what is the minimum that I'll get? What is the minimum that I'll get? I want to focus only on the minimum element. So minimum element that I'll get is nothing but 6 minus 4, right? That is 6 minus 4 is what? 2. From this I'll get 3. The reason for that is, let's suppose that if I am doing minus 1 from all, so effectively all of them are changing. So the difference, the actual difference still remains the same. What I am saying is, actual difference still remains same, right? Actual difference still remains the same. In this problem, actual difference still remains the same. Let's say if I did 6 minus 1 and 4 minus 1, so this would have been what? This would have been 5, this would have been 3. Still the difference would have been 2 only, right? And actually this difference between 6 minus 4 is also 2, but still even after that the difference is this much only, right? Let's say I perform some of the operations on this number, that is 15 and 12, right? Let's say I perform some of the differences. What is the difference? Let me just do this. So this will be what? 12 minus 6 will give me 6, and I know that a minimum bit 15 minus 12 will give me 3, right? Let me do it. If I do 15 minus 1, and after that I do minus 4 as well, so assuming that I have done a lot of operations, so what will it give? Minus 1 minus 4, this gives me what? This gives me 10, and this gives me 7, right? So the difference between them is still 3. The difference is still 3. What is the reason for that? The difference is still coming out to be 3, right? The difference is still coming out to be 3 even after subtracting, because the actual difference will not change, because once you are subtracting this much number, and notice that the minimum numbers are always getting removed, right? So that is why they will not be taken into consideration. So that is why what is happening is, every time you're just removing these numbers, right? You're always, these numbers are getting subtracted from the bigger number, but actually the actual difference is still the same between the adjacent elements, right? The actual difference between the bigger elements is still the same. So that is why the adjacent difference will be the answer. The adjacent difference, the maximum of the adjacent differences will be the answer. Is this much part clear to everyone? Please quickly give me a +1 in the chat if this much part is clear to everyone. Is this much part clear to everyone? Just quickly let me know. Is this much part clear to everyone? I hope that I was able to explain the intuition behind this. You can try to run it for several cases. But can you see this? That the actual difference between the numbers is still the same even after performing these operations. So that is why, since I am always removing the minimum element, so I always have to take the minimum after removal. So after removing 1, what will the minimum that I'll get? Minimum element will be nothing but the difference between it and its adjacent element, that is 3. After removing, let's say 4, this 1 will be removed. So after removing this 4, what will be the minimum element left in the array? So I'll subtract 4 from the every other element. So that means 6 minus 4, that gives us 2, right? So that is how I'll remove it. Now since I have this 6, so what will I do with this 6? So this 6 is there, so I know that I have to remove it, right? So what is the minimum element that I'll get after removing the 6? It will be nothing but the difference between 12 and 6. So this will be 6. After that, what will the minimum element that I'll get after removing 12? So the minimum element that I'll get after removing 12 is nothing but 15 minus 12, that will give me 3, right? So in this way I have the candidates, and among these I can find the maximum, right? That all this nothing but the absolute difference, adjacent difference, right? The difference between the adjacent, right? Is this much part clear to everyone? I hope that this much part is clear to everyone, right? I hope that this was clear to everyone. Please quickly give a +1 in the chat, or write yes in the chat if this much part is clear to everyone. Only then I'll be right. So this was it from my side for today. I think that this much problems were enough. So today we discussed 3 problems. One was a problem A. Another was there was true problem A, and one was problem C. It was asked in a recent CodeForces round, I think. So these were the two problems that we discussed with intuition, I think. So let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll level up. Tomorrow I'll be doing questions that are 1100 or maybe 1000 plus. Okay, this is what I'll be targeting. So I'll be doing a lot of B's and C's and maybe if possible D's as well. So at least div 3 D's. Okay, so this is what I have planned. So let's meet tomorrow at 5 p.m. Same platform, Codera. So you can, if you haven't subscribed the channel, you can consider subscribing the channel. Apart from this, another thing that I want to say is today I'll be bringing the CodeForces Div 3 round editorials in the night, just after the contest. So you can consider subscribing the channel if you haven't already. And in the end, I also want to say that we are doing Lead Code Daily Challenge live stream, Lead Code Daily Challenge. So if you want, you can follow it with us and you can try to solve it. Okay. Can you just do B special permutation? Which is this problem? B special permutation. Can you just do B special permutation? Which is that problem, are you? Which is the problem that you are talking about? If you want, I can take that problem tomorrow. Okay, I can take that problem tomorrow for you. Right? I can take that problem for tomorrow. So that is it from my side for today. You can consider subscribing this channel. Thanks a lot everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Thank you.